Hello, hello, everyone. Happy Monday. It is our Monday 12:30 live stream. I'm really enjoying doing these with you guys. Today, I'm going to talk about my daughter and keto, do a little update for you guys. She's been keto for 60 days now. So my plan for the live stream, because I know I have a lot of people that watch the replay, is to just talk for this first little bit of time here. And then I'll answer questions because I get so many questions on this topic about my daughter. And so that's why I decided to kind of do more of a live Q&A version of this. So I'll just wait for some people to start coming on. If you're just coming on, let me know where you're watching, where you're from, so I can kind of acknowledge you guys. And it's always really fun just to see where everyone is from. The chat stream hasn't really started popping in on my side. I use StreamYard, so it can be a little finicky. But if you're watching replay, also tell me where you're from, where you're watching from. It's always, again, really fun to kind of just see where everyone's from, where they're watching from. And I'm really enjoying doing these live streams with you guys. It has been a little bit difficult for me to actually get out my equipment, film, sit down and edit. It's just, I think I mentioned this last week when I did a live stream. It's just a long process that eventually I'm going to get back into, but for now it's been a little difficult. So I've got London, UK, I've got Smyrna, Georgia. You're not far away from me at all. I'm in Decatur, Georgia, and Finland so far. So welcome you guys to the chat, to the live stream. And Norway, how cool. Hey, Sherry. I know Sherry. She's in Stephanie's keto group. And so I always want to acknowledge Stephanie. She and I did a live chat on Friday. We're going to do more of those because she and I are really good friends. And she's been helping me through this. Pennsylvania, Panama, Decatur, Alabama, Nevada. Hello, hello, everyone. So Stephanie's actually the reason why I decided to do keto with my daughter. Stephanie Keto Person, if you don't know who I'm talking about. And her website is linked below this video in the information section. I tried to, before I did this live stream, really fill up the information section with all the stuff I'm going to talk about on the live stream today. Hello, St. Louis and Panama, Maryland. Oh, I'll highlight this one. Been loving my CGM from NutriSense. Thanks to you. Thank you, Tina. And I did put a link for that continuous glucose monitor in the information section below this video if anyone's interested in getting that and self-experimenting. Couple of Pennsylvania people here. Okay, so I get so spastic when I do these, and then people that watch the replay get pissed. I had one woman that sent me like a really nasty comment. She got blocked and deleted, by the way, about just listen to yourself. Go back and listen to yourself. And I'm like, dude, why don't you just go and not listen to live? I put live stream up at the top so people know that this is the deal. Michigan, Quebec, Canada. Awesome, awesome. So people know this is the deal with the live stream, that I like to acknowledge people where they're from, people that are watching. I love interacting with people. So don't be a negative Nelly. Okay, so let's talk about Alexis, my daughter, and keto update. I always like to, when I talk about her, so I get a lot of unsolicited advice, and I talked about this in the first, and thank you, Tina, saying, I'm going to highlight that one because I've been down in the dumps lately. Thank you, Tina. She says you look gorgeous today. Thank you, thank you. I've been down in the dumps, you guys. This has been hard. I've had some depression over the last couple weeks with this whole situation. So that means a lot to me. Thank you, Tina. I was talking about Stephanie. So I want to acknowledge her because she's the whole reason why I did this, why I got Alexis on keto, my daughter on keto. A lot of people don't know this about Steph, but the reason why she got into keto was that her mother had a glioblastoma, a brain tumor, and was diagnosed and said, you're gonna die. And so Steph, this was like 13 years ago and no one was doing keto. Nobody knew anything about it. She did the research and saw that the keto diet was being used therapeutically for things like brain tumors, for things in the brain. So my daughter, Alexis, and I said this in the last video, which I linked below this in the information section, which talks about us initially going keto. I think it was like 2 weeks in. I haven't gone back and rewatched it. lately, but it was about 2 weeks in when I recorded this video because I was so thrilled. I was so excited because we were having results so quickly with Alexis. But Steph is the one who encouraged me to actually just do it. Because when this whole situation went down, her behaviors got really, really bad. Now, my daughter, Alexis, and I said this in the last video, I don't like unsolicited advice when it comes to my daughter because it's impossible for me to sit here and talk about everything we've done over the last 12 years. When she was diagnosed, I immediately changed her diet. I immediately took her off of dairy and gluten and wheat and soy. We did specific carbohydrate diet. We have been all over the country to see different specialists and doctors, alternative therapies, things that we could do because she had a severe regression. She was talking and everything was great. And then it was like somebody flipped the lights out on the kid. I have a video of her from when she was 1, before the regression happened, of her, and I may post it at some point, her playing with my Rottweiler, my dog, big ass Rottweiler, who I loved, is like my heart dog. And I had a video of them playing together and her interacting with the dog and even looking at the dog and saying bye-bye and like running off. And then she had a regression about a month after that video and didn't even realize we had a dog. It was literally like an out-of-body experience. It was like she didn't recognize the dog. We were not there. It was like somebody turned the lights off on my kid. And so that was very traumatic for all of us. And so from then on, I kind of made it my mission. She was young. She was like 15 months when that happened, and made it my mission to help my kid. In whatever way that I could, to help her. And so, like I said, we have done so much. So I get a lot of people saying, oh, try this protocol or try that protocol or try this. And I'm like, I literally can't talk to you guys about what we've done over the last 12 years with diet and supplement and different things that we've tried. But we got to keto because Steph and I had become really good friends, which we still are. We talk like every day. And she's like, Sarah, why haven't you done keto for Alexis? And the other thing is that my daughter is 12. She'll be 13 in December. A lot of kids that fit her profile. Now, autism is like, it's when you've met one kid with autism, you have met one kid with autism. It's so different and it presents differently. And I actually got attacked in a Facebook group called Autistic Carnivores. I got attacked by this kid who was like, oh, how am I not supposed to be triggered by this woman who's trying to like fix her kid, which have never tried to fix my kid. She's not broken. She's perfect. She's amazing. I've tried to help her because this person doesn't know the 12 years I've had with my child that will scream for 6 hours in a row and that won't sleep for a week at a time and that will hit her. She's put her head through a window before. I've watched her put her head through a window. She has, and this is because her body is in pain. So I want to make it clear, I've not tried to fix my daughter. I've tried to help her not be in pain and be happy in this life and not try to make her fit into a mold of what I think a kid is supposed to be, right? So this autistic adult attacked me in a Facebook group. It was, oh my God, what a dick. Totally misunderstood me. And, you know, the thing is, like, I'm not trying to fix her. But anyway, so we started keto, and I know I'm jumping around. I'm trying to, like, read comments and talk at the same time. This is a skill that hopefully I will develop. This is, like, my 6th live. So at some point, I'm going to be good at reading comments and talking at the same time. But quarantine happened. She lost school. She lost her routine. She lost everything and was crying, 6 hours a day. And so Steph was like, you need to do keto with her because the keto diet, a lot of people may not realize this, was invented for children with epilepsy. So I said, a lot of kids that fit Alexis's profile before I got off on my tangent start to have seizures around puberty. Now, this is just a lot of kids that are non-speaking, so she doesn't speak. We do use a letterboard so she can spell her thoughts. And she has her own YouTube channel, you guys. So subscribe to her YouTube channel. I linked it in the information section below this video. But she has her own YouTube channel where she spells and does poetry. And so, okay, I'm going to highlight this. How do you feel comfortable doing a diet that has no science behind it? Did you hear what I just said? The keto diet was invented for children with epilepsy to stop seizures. It is proved and used to stop seizures in the 1920s. You can go look it up. So there's science behind it. Sorry, that just hashtag triggered. Dude, are you kidding me? You can go look it up. It's science, okay? So that's why we did it, because I wanted to do it kind of as a preventative measure. Also, the behaviors she was having, she was in so much pain in her body that I was like, I gotta do something. Okay, Taylor, not gonna do it today. So, anywho, we put her on keto, and right away I started seeing a big difference in her, like huge difference. She stopped crying all day, stopped crying for 6 hours a day. She started being able to be calm for periods of time. She stopped the self-injurious behaviors. She stopped banging her head into the floor. She stopped doing a lot of stuff. And I was just like, holy crap, this is amazing. So now we're at 60 days. And so I've kind of written some stuff down, some bumps in the road that we have had. Okay, so number one thing, and we dealt with this when we first went into it, was food refusal. So nope, not going to eat that. You know, I'm like, this is what's offered to you. This is what you're going to have, right? And she wouldn't eat. And that was hard. I think this is hard for a lot of parents that I talk to. I actually run a support group for parents who have kids with autism and special needs. It's all yoga meditation based. So I'm just trying to provide them with tools to calm themselves, deal with the stress and anxiety, because I've been there. And that's why I became a yoga teacher, was because my daughter, I actually tell people that she is my guru. She is my yoga teacher, because she's the one that sent me into yoga, into meditation, because I was like, I need to be a better person for her. Like, I need to be a better person in this life to help my daughter. And this is not going to be easy, you know, and it hasn't been easy. But so anyway, I run this support group. So I talk with a lot of parents who have kids on the spectrum. The kids are very picky. Kids are very picky in general, but autistic kids, they are very, very willful, a lot of them. And so there were some days when she literally would not eat until 4 o'clock. Like, I offer breakfast, I offer lunch, she's not going to eat, but then she gets hungry, she'll eat. And that's a hard thing for parents, because you feel guilt and you feel like, I'm not doing a good job because my kid's not eating. So you kind of have to get over that. And we've had periods of that in this process of her just like, I'm not going to eat. And I'm like, okay, I got to deal with my issue around that, because she'll eat when she's hungry. She will. So I'm also going to talk about different foods that we have given her in this video. And what a typical day of eating looks like for her. Yes. So typical day of eating for her. And I buy a lot of stuff from White Oak Pastures, which I linked them below the video. Because it's pastured, it's grass-fed, it's an amazing place. I mentioned this a lot, that I have been there, stayed on the farm. It's just a great place, so I trust the quality. And with my daughter, I try to give her the best of everything. You know, that's just what I do. I'll give it to her before I eat it myself. But typically what we do a day of eating for her is let's see. Yeah. Okay, sorry, trying to read the comments. Sorry for y'all on the replay. I know I'm a little spastic. Typical day of eating for her, we start off with pastured pork belly that I get from White Oak Pastures. I just recently bought a meat slicer. And I have a little link under the video called Sarah's Favorite Carnivore Tools. It's like near the bottom of the information section. The meat slicer that I bought, I love. It's so good. So I'll buy pastured pork. And then, okay, yes. Laura, I will answer your question in a second. I buy the pastured pork, I slice it up really thin, and then I'll take the fat, the pastured pork fat, and freeze it, because you do get a lot of fat. I skim the skin off the top. I bake the skin in the oven, and she loves that pastured pork skin. It's really, really crispy, crunchy, so she'll have that. She's eating that right now as I'm in here with you guys. So we do the pastured pork. I make little slices of bacon, put it in the oven, bacon she loves it. We also, for snacks, I still let her have seaweed. Oh, this is a great question. I will answer this because it's a super chat. So any super chats, I'll always grab those first. Is your daughter still eating keto treats? No, not really. A couple. I'll talk about that super quick because I am talking about what she eats in a day. And I linked these in the information section below the video. So she's still eating keto brick. We still eat those. Not a ton of it. I'm trying to like take it down a little bit, but she enjoys those and they have proven not to give her any reaction. She still eats carnivore bars. She loves those. I cannot keep those stocked in my house. And then we just recently were sent by a company called Visionary Foods, and I linked them below, some cereal, which she and my husband both absolutely loved. So she is eating those, but that's not the main staple of what she eats. I'm going to jump back into like main staple, main meals. Those are just like occasional things that we try to do. And I'm trying to get less and less of those, but still she's a 12-year-old kid. So I want to still let her have some fun foods. And then, oh, hey, Vanessa, so good to see you. So breakfast is usually that pork belly that I have sliced on my meat slicer, make bacon out of it. I'll put some Redmonds on top of it because doesn't have all the like cured, it just doesn't taste the same as regular bacon, but you adapt to it real quick and she loves it now. And then I'll also take pork belly and sometimes just throw it in my air fryer. Love the air fryer. She loves beef suet. It's just like, I'm like, she's my spirit animal because her and I can like sit there and just eat beef suet together. And I was shocked when I first saw her eating beef suet. She also loves iberico pork fat, which if you guys haven't had it before, and she on her letterboard spelled out, tastes like ice cream. With frozen iberico pork fat, which to me it tastes like ice cream, but I was shocked that she said that. So she'll eat the iberico pork fat as a snack, loves it, and you get that from White Oak Pastures also. Chicken skins. I just bought like 20 pounds of chicken skins from White Oak Pastures. She loves the chicken skins, so she eats those. I also cook stuff like ground turkey, and I'll chop up some onions and stuff in there and put it over cauliflower rice. And I'll cook the cauliflower rice just to give her a little bit more fat in the rendered iberico pork fat or in the rendered pastured pork fat. So she loves cauliflower rice, and I'll do like a ground turkey with a little bit of onions. She's still doing some plants. I'm still letting her have broccoli. She likes broccoli. I'm trying to think of what other plants. Coconut cream popsicles. So this is a good one, you guys who have kids. I buy coconut cream, organic, and would try to not have any additives in it. I'll pour it in a bowl. I'll add a little bit of stevia, a little bit of vanilla extract, and then just like literally whip it up. Sometimes a little bit of cinnamon, whip it up, and then pour it into silicone popsicle molds, and then just make popsicles. Because the kid used to love eating her popsicles all the time, loved her popsicles. So she's still getting those treats. And then I'm going to go up here and answer Laura's question. Does your daughter take the desiccated liver pill, or do you put it in her food? So I'm going to get to supplements in a second here. But yes, she takes, right now we're doing ancestral supplements, desiccated liver. We're also doing, and I'm going to talk about histamines because I have that in the title. We're also doing desiccated thymus and desiccated kidney. And I'm doing those 3 times a day because they say 6 capsules a day. So I'm giving like 2 with breakfast, 2 with lunch, and 2 with dinner. So I'm doing the liver, and she can swallow pills. I taught her how to swallow pills. No big deal. She's like, a lot of people are afraid to teach their kids how to swallow pills, but she's been totally fine with it. So I think that those things are very, very important. Yeah. It's great that you are trying to help your daughter. I have an 8-year-old son with autism. One day, maybe he will do keto. For now, he's doing 70-ish carbs. Any suggestions for macros, protein versus fat? So this is just my personal opinion and my experience. The fat makes my daughter calmer. It stabilizes her brain. It gives her a sense of safety. And again, I don't know that all kids on the spectrum necessarily need to go keto, but we did it as a preventative measure because I've seen a lot of kids that are her age that start hitting puberty and they start having the seizures. And like I said, The keto diet was essentially developed for children who have seizures in 1920. So it's very scientifically based to the hater who came in here earlier. That it is proven to help with seizures and seizure management. So this is just one thing that we're doing, and it has helped her behaviorally. It has helped her be a lot calmer. We were basically doing paleo with her for years. Like from the very beginning, we started doing paleo, but she still would eat a lot of fruit. She loved her fruit. She was highly addicted to fruit. This is a good question. Where do you find coconut cream without additives? Can't find even, or yeah. My Whole Foods, I live in Atlanta, so we have a good amount of selection here. Sometimes an Asian store will have that also. And this is the U.S. Navy SEALs also use the diet for their health. So people really need to do, yes, Sherry, they do need to do, but you know what? Like, people never do research before they open their mouth. Welcome to YouTube and Instagram. I'm kind of used to it. You would think I wouldn't get triggered by it after all this time, but I'm like a human being. Stephanie and I talk about this a lot. Like, I put myself out there on YouTube and Instagram, and it's really out of a desire to want to help. Like, I'm doing this Q&A about my daughter right now because I want to help other people and maybe encourage other people that have kids who are having a lot of behavior issues. And I think autism is a big spectrum. This is just my opinion, that can go from ADHD to ADD to autism. There's different levels, I think, of autism. I think it's all on the same tree. And I do believe that, and even just like depression and anxiety. And I think that the keto diet can help all those conditions. So what I want to do, by putting my story out there, by putting her story out there, is hopefully to help other people. And I do have her permission to do this. So like I said, she has her own YouTube channel. I did link it in the information section below this video, but she wants to, it was her idea to start a YouTube channel. That's what she wanted for Christmas, because she wanted, as a person who does not have the ability to speak, but has all these beautiful, intelligent thoughts in her head, she wanted to be able to put a message out to the world, and she still does want to. So that's her channel, and we're going to continue to put out more content of hers. But she's also a little advocate and wants to help other people. So I asked her if it's okay if I share these things with you guys. I haven't really put videos of her on my channel. It's all on her channel if you want to see what she looks like. Hi, Daniel. Welcome. So I want to talk a little bit about histamines also, and kind of her history. Hello, Maryland. Her history. And this, I think, is also important. She has had ear infections. I'm going to drink a little bit of water. Speaking of histamines, she's had ear infections since the autism diagnosis. Now, it started right about the same time, where she'd get these chronic ear infections that would just torture the poor kid. And this has been since she's, but younger than 2. And we have had, at this point, I think 8 sets of ear tubes. 8. And as she's gotten older, it's become more and more and more of a problem. And so last year, the year before, and the year before, and the year before, you guys, so this has been many years, she'll start getting an ear infection in April, and it will last until November. Literally, last year we had 2 surgeries, because usually they're like, well, we got to do a surgery, get those ear tubes out, put in a new set of ear tubes. That's a good question, Shell. I'll get to you in a second. And then last year, so we had 2 surgeries and like 3 or 4 rounds with an infectious disease doctor, because finally the ear, nose, and throat doctor is like, we don't even know what to do. So this is the other reason why I think talking about histamine is important, because she's obviously reacting to something either in the food, in the environment, or both, that is causing her to continually have these infections. So this was on my other hope with keto. So what started happening is I had this great kind of honeymoon period for a couple weeks, right? And then she started having a few of the behaviors again. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then we started having the sleep problems again. So what a lot of people don't realize about histamines is that they can cause you to wake up a lot at night because they're reacting to things in the environment that are causing them to wake up. And I have the same problem. Like if I'm having a histamine reaction, I will wake up a lot in the night. So we have had to be, so this is all Steph. We have got the ancestral supplements, and if you're going to get them, keep them in the refrigerator. If you're trying to heal histamines, I think this is extremely vital. I do want to have a conversation with them at some point to like say, hey, you guys got to start telling your customers to keep this stuff in the refrigerator or the freezer. Sorry, my dog is losing her mind. She's in the basement for this reason, but apparently something's irritating her. So anyway, we started on the ancestral supplements, the thymus and the kidney, and I'm also giving her thymus. I'll buy thymus again from White Oak Pastures. And you need, yes, Vanessa, I think it's helping her sleep through the night because now, okay, and I don't want to, like, I got to knock on glass, knock on wood, y'all at home, knock on something right now. But since I've had her on this regimen of the ancestral supplements, thymus and kidney and liver, because I think you have to support the liver also for histamines, she's been sleeping through the night. Like, and I also give her fried thymus during the day. I deep fry it. She loves it. It's like candy for her. But yeah, she has been, this is like night 6 that she slept through the night. And here's the other thing that she usually does, talking about the ears. She typically, when I know that she is getting an ear thing, she'll spit on her finger and then like rub it in her ear. Like she's got fluid in there, and that's her way of trying to like clear it out. Thank you, Michael Anthony. Y'all go to Michael Anthony's channel. He just put out a new video this morning. His channel like relaxes the hell out of me. Whenever he puts out a new video, I'm so excited because I'm just like, oh, I could just relax and listen to his channel. It's so nice. So thank you, Michael Anthony. I am a lot happier now that when my kid's happy, I'm happy. The hardest thing for me is feeling powerless, having my child be in pain, like this ear infection thing for months on end, like literally driving to see an infectious disease doctor multiple times, her not sleeping, being awake, screaming, crying in pain is like heart-wrenching for me, like absolutely heart-wrenching. So that's another reason why I'm so excited to share this stuff with you guys. We're doing the supplement regimen, the food regimen. I'm taking her more and more kind of towards like a super high fat carnivore. Like I said, she loves to snack on the iberico pork fat. She loves the raw beef suet. She likes all that stuff. So I'm thrilled to just keep giving her fat. Again, we do have the little keto treats. We do have the coconut popsicles and the keto brick, the carnivore bar, and the Visionary Foods cereal. We love those. So yes, let's see. I'm going to highlight this one. My son had chronic ear infection since birth until I took completely off dairy. Yes. Yeah, including cheese and butter. Yes. So Alexis, you know, that was the tough thing because she's been off dairy 100% and even eggs for years. We've put this kid through extensive allergy testing where they prick her back. We've done NAET, which is like a little bit woo-woo. We literally run the gamut for my kid, like literally run the gamut trying to figure it out. So this is why I'm excited. Combination of keto leaning more very meat heavy, very fat heavy, animal fat heavy. Keto mostly kind of carnivore with a few little treats here. And then those supplements added in have been amazing. And how do I deep fry the thymus? What fat do I use? So I'm like obsessed with the pastured pork and the iberico pork fat from White Oak Pastures. So I'll cook her bacon and then I pour the grease back into a jar. And then a lot of times I'll just spoon that grease into a pan or a pot. And then I will take the thymus and slice it up super, super thin and just throw it in there, deep fry it. Of course, you got to cover it with a screen because the grease will fly everywhere. But she loves it. I mean, and I love it too. It's hard for me not to eat a ton of it. Yeah, and so this is another one. My adult daughter's chronic ear infection stem from her tongue tie. It holds her jaw backwards and keeps pressing on the drainage canal. She's going to get the tongue tie released soon. Oh my gosh, that's so hard. Yeah, and my daughter, we have done cranial sacral therapy. We've been to extensive dental. Like we've literally kind of run the gamut with like what could be causing this: chiropractic, hyperbaric oxygen therapy. Right now, I can't afford ancestral supplements. Is there really wanting to get them for my eczema? Is there any alternative? Yes, just eating the organ meats. Like get a high quality, get the organ meats. Eat kidney, which I can't stomach kidney, but people eat it all the time. I know Carnivore Kurt, he eats kidney. I know the Strong Sisters, and I know these people offline too. They eat kidney, thymus. It's going to be called sweetbreads if you look for it online. Yes, Daniel, deep fried sweetbreads are so good. They're so delicious. So just eat these foods that you don't necessarily have to get the ancestral supplements. Yes. And this is it. Yeah, I cannot think of anything more stressful than having a consistently upstate and in pain child when you don't know why. And this is like the reality for a lot of parents who have kids with autism. And when I started the Carnivore Yogi Instagram, when I started my Carnivore Yogi YouTube, I kind of would mention her and I kind of would talk about it, but I haven't really gone into depth about the effect that it has had on my physiology, the effect that it has had on my spirit and all that stuff. And, some people, and I don't really go into depth of how into yoga and how into meditation that I am, but I will tell you guys, I'm very heavily involved in those things, in those practices, because I have to be like I have to be, because I have to be strong for her. And I want to continue to help her, and if I can figure things out for her and help other parents, I want to do that. I just want to continually figure things out, tell people if stuff's not helping. Let's see. Yes, Vanessa, eat all the organs. I agree. Like, you don't have to, because these ancestral supplements can be like $50, $60 a bottle. For my daughter, it's well worth it. Like, I'll pay the pain of being up all night, because what she was doing is waking up from 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. And I didn't quite tie it together that, okay, we're entering the ear infection season. Here we are. We're entering it. What am I going to do? And then, talking with Stephanie and telling her about it, she's like, girl, this is histamine. This is what's going on. She's reacting. You're living in Georgia. Everything's blooming. You've got mold, you've got pollen, you've got the grass, you got all this stuff. She's reacting to it. So let's do this. Let's get her on those organ supplements. But you can definitely, yeah. And she says, yikes, those weird meats scare me. LOL, I'm going to have to work on eating those. I get it. Like if you had told me a year ago that I would be like going to my freezer and like grabbing out pieces of raw fat and eating it and being like, this tastes like ice cream, I would have been like, you're insane. Like, what is wrong with you? Who would do that? What? That's disgusting. I'm eating kidney with lard as I watch this first time. I doubt that I can eat it again. Can't rid it. Yeah. So like I literally cannot eat kidney plain because it tastes like pee to me, but the Strong Sisters, you can go on their channel. They have like a kidney stew. There's different things you can do with it. And then, Vanessa says US Wellness Meats has ground beef with organ meats. And I definitely, agree with that. And I do that with her. Sometimes I'll make like a little ground beef and mix it with the cauliflower rice. That's how I get her to eat those organ meats. So it's kind of like a game of figuring out. And I have a meat grinder too, so I make my own sometimes too. But I just can't stomach that kidney. Yeah, Daniel just said I brought up organs regularly, so good. Get a meat grinder and mix. Yeah, that's exactly what I do around here. But I still can't with the kidney. I literally can't do it. And then Shell says to start with chicken livers. Yes, I think chicken livers, and Vanessa, Ketogenic Girl, go on her channel, also on her page. She has an amazing liver pate recipe. She uses the chicken livers for those. And, I think that's really good. You can dip bacon in there, eat them that way. And then, and Andrew says, mold, check for, yes. So this is, like I said in the very beginning of the video, it's so hard for me to tell you guys all the stuff that we have done. We did an extensive mold remediation a few years ago when we started getting into these ear infections. I was like, oh my God, we've got mold somewhere. We moved out of the house. We literally moved out of the house, did an extreme mold remediation, and we have extensive it's like an ozone type of thing in our HVAC to prevent mold, and we're constantly checking in to make sure we don't have mold. So yes, mold is a huge culprit for those chronic ear infections and chronic runny nose and respiratory infections. What is your daughter's YouTube channel? It's in the information section below this video. So just pop it, go subscribe. She's got like 550 subscribers. I'm trying to work on a new video that she put together about friends, but she's got a few videos up there, and it really, she has a beautiful way of expressing herself, even though she doesn't speak. It's amazing. And thank you so much for that encouragement, Vanessa. I really, really appreciate that. Jessica says, I've been trying to order sweetbreads from White Oak Pastures, but they're always out, hoping they restock soon. Can't wait to try it. Yeah, I'm in the same boat right now, Jessica. I'm waiting for a restock on White Oak Pastures for their sweetbreads, but I know Will Harris. I know Jenny Harris, his daughter. She actually has an autistic son. I don't think she would mind me saying that. So I'm in contact with them. They're constantly restocking. So just make sure that your email address is in the notifications. And right when you get the email, order. That's what I did with the chicken skins. Since my daughter loves the White Oak Pastures chicken skins, I literally ordered 20 pounds of it as soon as they came back online, because those chicken skins go fast because they're really good. And my daughter absolutely loves them. And yes, my daughter absolutely loves poetry. She writes poetry. We have read all the Harry Potter books together. I read them to her. She can't really, like, her sitting down to focus is really hard for her. So I read to her a lot. And I had never read the Harry Potter books, but I sat there and read all the books with her. And then we have some really interesting conversations about the books, what she thinks. And I'm like, who's your favorite character? My daughter's sassy too. And she spelled Hermione, duh. Like, okay. What is Vanessa's YouTube name? Ketogenic Girl. Go to her channel. She's amazing. She's got so much great content. She's been in the keto game for a long time. Tina says, yes, U.S. Wellness Meats takes 2 weeks to ship right now. Yes, it does. I just got about 6 pounds of lamb suet, which my daughter also loves the lamb suet, straight from the freezer. I was going to order from them, but now the shipping was going to be over $35. I'm not sure. So White Oak, yeah, their shipping is different depending on where you are. For most people, as long as you order $100, it's like $9.99. But I'm seeing that shift and change a little bit with this whole global situation going on. Is White Oak Pastures better? You know, for me, it's a great option because I live in Georgia. They're in Georgia. They are a regenerative farm. So I've stayed there. Their soil is beautiful. They use every part of the animal. And I think that the soil health is important, but also to work with a farmer that does take good care of the land is also, you can do that. Go to www.eatwild.com, and that's going to give you a list of resources to find and locate a farmer that's close by to you. A lot of times things like sweetbreads, things like thymus, they actually will throw away. So if you just ask them, they're more than willing to give it to you. They'll throw away a lot of parts that, you know, we as people doing carnivore, kind of this more ancestral way of eating, that we're a lot more open to wanting those things. Let's see. My grandson is on the spectrum. He talks when he wants to. He's genius. The kid loves steaks. Yeah, that's one thing I wish my daughter liked was steaks. She does not like steaks. She really doesn't. And somebody earlier asked me if I think that autism is new. I think what's happening with the kids now, like my daughter, is new. I think that there are things going on environmentally. I'm not going to speak totally freely still on my YouTube channel about what I truly think, because I don't want to get yanked off the internet. I don't want to go there. But I do think that there are environmental things combined with our DNA, with some possible things, genetically, that are setting off, putting these genes into motion, like the Alzheimer's. I think Alzheimer's disease, everyone getting that, we're calling it type 3 diabetes. I think that is on the same methylation tree. So we talk about, people that have the MTHFR mutation. I have that. My husband has that. I think that plays a role. And then you throw environmental factors on there and it's a complete bleep show, complete. So I'm seeing a lot, because when I was a kid, I'm 40, I'll be 41 in less than a month, which is crazy. June 11th, if you guys want to write that down. But I'll be 41 in June. And when I was growing up, there was like one autistic kid in my whole school, not just like, not in the whole like grade, no, in the whole school. And it was a different type of autism than my daughter had. There were no children like my daughter that were in my school that I even knew of. You'd see occasionally. But to go to my daughter's therapy center and to go to any of these therapy centers here in Atlanta where I live, there are waiting lists, like absolute, like crazy waiting lists. There's so many of these children. And I don't think it's a coincidence that our environment and all these other things, our food system, our food is very important. That's why for my daughter, I do buy from a farm. I do make sure her quality of food it's very important to me, because I think our food system plays a role in this whole thing. I got to highlight this one. I love Geminis. Y'all, Geminis are crazy. I'm crazy. I know it. I'm all over the place, but thank you. Let me see some of these comments. Kelly says, I've been ordering with Shepherd Meats. Are they here in Atlanta? I think I just followed, or they're here in Georgia. I think I just followed them on Instagram. I'm not sure. And I've actually, one of my friends, Keto Katrina on Instagram, just posted about them. Yes. Let's see. I'm still reading comments. I know what you're talking about. I agree with you. Stance on those environmental factors. Just telling you for some support. Thank you, Redhead67. I really, really, really appreciate that. My daughter does not like the texture of fat. Any hints on how to deal with this? So, I think I've been lucky with my daughter. She loves it out of the freezer more than she does if I thaw fat out and put it at room temperature. She wants nothing to do with it, like literally nothing to do with it. But if it's like straight up out of the freezer, like I said, she spelled on her letterboard, tastes like ice cream, or like reminds me of ice cream. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So we're literally, her and I sitting on the couch last night eating like frozen pork fat. So just try, maybe thaw it out if they don't like to eat it frozen, or maybe try it frozen. You can also hide it in things. So having that meat grinder and then grinding that extra fat up with the meat and then making like a hamburger. Sometimes you have to hide it in stuff like those organ meats. So it's different, and you can make fat bombs. So I was in the very beginning when my daughter was like kind of averse to trying the different fats. So here's the thing that's happened with me on carnivore that's also happened with my daughter on carnivore is that, her taste buds are changing. They have changed, because I was having to, and Steph really coached me through this, make her like fat bombs with coconut oil, and use stevia and use a little bit of cacao. She was like just kind of living on those and living more on the keto brick and living more on the carnivore bars. So those were really good bridges. But now she's like just straight up chilling, eating fat with me, which I'm thrilled about, because I want her more on those animal fats. I want her more on those high quality fats than I do on the keto treats. And, I think those things are okay for the long term. Do you recommend a grinder? Yes. So if you go in my information section under this video, Sarah's favorite carnivore tools, and follow that link, I have a link to the meat grinder that I use, my air fryer, just a lot of the different tools that I have used and I still use in carnivore. This is a big thing. Do you eat it raw? Yes, I keep all my fats in the freezer, all my organ meats in the freezer, and I will literally just eat them raw because it's easier that way for me. It's tasty to eat them out of the freezer. Oh, one other thing I cook for her, and I put a resource underneath here, is like chicken nuggets. So I put a link under the video for the pork panko that we use. And I'll get like the chicken from White Oak Pastures, just chicken breasts. And I'll thaw that out, of course, and chop it up into smaller pieces. And I'll dip it in olive oil because she has a severe egg allergy too. This is the other thing that we found out she's had extensive allergy testing, the pricking on the back, the blood tests, like the IgG, all that stuff. We've done extensive. So we found out pretty early on she's allergic to eggs. So that's, how do you do keto without eggs and without cheese, without dairy? Yeah, it definitely is challenging, but you just kind of learn as you go, and you focus more on the stuff that they can have rather than the stuff they can't have. So I know with her, she has a severe milk allergy. I know we're just not going to be doing dairy. We're not going to mess with those foods. Makes it easier for me because I know that I shouldn't be doing dairy. I always react to it, even if it's raw. So it makes it easier for me to not have those foods in the house, period. Yes. So yeah, the pork panko, I'll dip the chicken in olive oil, coat it, put it in the bottom of my air fryer, like take the screen out, cook it for 20 minutes. And she's like happy. It's chicken nuggets. She used to love chicken nuggets, and I would buy the gluten-free ones. But now to make it keto, you can use that pork panko. And I put that link below this video also. I've been getting beef fat trimmings and frying them. It's much cheaper than suet. Is that okay? Yeah, absolutely. It's totally fine. If you can tolerate that. So for me, I feel better if the fat is either frozen or cold. This is just me. So what I'll do with the beef fat, if I'm going to fry it up, is I'll fry it up and put it in the refrigerator on a plate and just like let it sit there and then kind of snack on it, put a little salt on it, but it's fine. Yeah, absolutely. So y'all have any more questions? I'm going to see if I always make notes to make sure that I put everything down here that I want to go over, that I want to talk about. Electrolytes, important, very important. And I have had to mind her electrolytes, kind of play with that. That's another thing that can disrupt her sleep. So histamine is a big thing that has disrupted her sleep, but also I have to mind electrolytes. And it was a grass-fed girl, Caitlin Weeks. I don't know if you guys know her or not. She's a friend of mine. Talked to her offline also, but she was the first person that brought up to me that if she doesn't mind her electrolytes, that she'll actually wake up in the night and have to take a salt capsule in order to fall back asleep. So with Alexis, I've had to really mind her electrolytes. So in addition to the ancestral supplements 3 times a day, I'm also giving her the magnesium glycinate twice a day like I take. I'm giving her 1 potassium citrate capsule in the morning. 1 in the morning, 1 at night. And then she can tolerate avocado. Avocado doesn't seem to give her histamine reaction. So I do give her the avocado. And that is basically her electrolyte routine. The only thing she drinks, and she used to drink a lot of like carbonated water. We used to keep the LaCroix. Thank you so much, Jan. Wow. Oh my gosh, you are so sweet. Thank you so much for that. That is so helpful right now. But I think I forgot what I was saying. Oh, Alexis with the drinks. She used to drink a lot of carbonated beverages, and then she wanted to drink juice all the time, and I would occasionally let her have juice. So now we're just straight up water, and I try to make sure that she's drinking a lot of water. Someone says, I put pink salt on my carnivore bar, no more leg cramps. Yay, that's so good. That's so good. And yes, Daniel, that was so freaking nice. Thank you guys. Thank you. Yes, let's give Jan props. Thank you so much for that. That is so helpful. Do you guys have any more questions? I have a 1:30 appointment. So I've got like 9 more minutes that I can hang out with you guys, answer any questions. I'm going to look on my list and see if I forgot anything. Oh, my daughter loves chicken wings too. So I still cook her chicken wings. She'll still eat those. But the reason why I started buying her the chicken skins is because typically with chicken wings, she just like eats the skin off and then like throws the meat back on the plate. My husband and I both like chicken wings too, but Alexis will go up to the plate chicken wings and just like literally eat the skin off and throw it back on. So she like just totally taints the chicken wings. Thank you so much. I appreciate the super stickers so much. Thank you so much. And no, Redhead, I'm not getting a ton of questions, so I answer this. My ankles swell up sometimes taking magnesium, potassium, and salt. So finding that that right balance of electrolytes can be a little bit tricky. You know, Steph says to drink at least 2 liters of water per day. So if you'll see me on my lives, I've always got a glass. So I drink out of glass. I don't do plastic because I don't want any endocrine or hormone disruption. But I'm drinking at least 2 liters of water per day. My daughter's same. I'm always making sure she's got some water. And the potassium salt balance is important. So that can cause swelling if you're having too much salt and not enough potassium. So just kind of playing with those ratios a little bit. Anytime I have swelling, it's because I have too much salt. So that is very important. I get the chicken skin from White Oak Pastures, and they restock that very, very regularly. Yeah, literally we'll have like a nice, beautiful plate of chicken wings, and then she'll just like throw the bone. I'm like, girl, just desecrating our whole dinner. How did you teach her to take pills? My daughter's turning 5 and she was older than 5. So my daughter wasn't even fully potty trained until she was 6. Like her autism severely impacts her. And I don't say that, I don't say that lightly. So everything that I've taught her, everything that she does, we've had to work hard on it, but the pills were surprisingly easy. I just kind of showed her like a lot of stuff, like with the raw fat, she saw me doing it. And so it was very appealing. It's like mommy's eating fat out of the freezer, so I'm going to do the same thing. So with the swallowing pills, she would see me taking my magnesium, my supplements, and I'm like, here, you can do it too. So I just didn't make a big deal of it. I put a pill on her tongue and said, okay, drink the pill with your water. We'll do one at a time. Drink the pill with your water. And she just would do it and swallow it. She's good to go. So I'm like, I've been very blessed that was not a hard thing for her to learn how to do. Just Josh says, do you take digestive enzymes? I did for the first 6 weeks when I switched over to high fat carnivore. The one that I take that I have used is also on that list of Sarah's favorite carnivore tools. Yes. Okay. So I have orange. Yes, you're probably dehydrated. You're probably not drinking enough water. So try to up your water intake also. The electrolytes can be really tricky, you guys. Very, very tricky. Okay, this is a carnivore. They're not a carnivore. This is a typical autism thing. Yes, the poop thing is hard. My daughter, we had years of GI doctors, of all this stuff. So here's a little trick for poop. I know those of you on the live stream are like, oh God, we're talking about poop. Well, Digestive Enzymes helped me with that. But for my daughter, I used the Bulletproof brand. And this was life-changing because we were on like so many different things to try to get her to the bathroom. Aloe juice and what's the one, the stuff you mix in the water, like not Metamucil, but I don't even want to think about it. Miralax, oh my Lord. And trying to get her to drink and eat prunes and all this stuff. XCT oil, not MCT, XCT oil, Bulletproof brand. That was a game changer for her. And I still do that every now and then if she doesn't go to the bathroom. Here's one. Hi, Bameen, to message you, mom, a 14-year-old autistic daughter here. I know keto would be so beneficial. She won't eat any meat, gag reflex, many food aversions, diet stresses me. Yeah, I get you, girl. That's why I stayed away from keto for so long. My daughter was like trying to be a vegan. I'm like, we don't do that in this house. Nope. We don't do that in this house. Mommy did that. Mommy lost her hair. Mommy lost all her muscle. Mommy got very sick. We don't do that. So carnivore bar was a really great, she loves the texture of the carnivore bar. It's like a crunchy granola bar, but it's a ribeye. So the carnivore bar was huge for starting to get over that aversion to meat and the meat texture. So there's a link for carnivore bar below this. That helped her tremendously. And then just, you know, it's hard. And the whole thing with the kids, and I talked about this a little bit earlier, is that if you don't give them food, eventually if you give them food and it sits there and they get hungry enough, they're eventually going to eat it. And that's a hard thing emotionally to have to deal with, is like, oh my God, my kid is just going to starve to death. They're not going to eat, but they will eventually. And that can be a hurdle, and it can take a few days. For us, it's been an on and off thing. So just hang in there with it. Yeah, my autistic grandson does not like certain textures like plastic plants. Yeah, but loves super soft blankets. Yeah, Alexis loves her blankets. And then, yes, makeup addict, we take the thymus pills. We sure do. Let's see. I like Grassland Nutrition beef liver powder a lot. Are really good. Yes, for MTHFR on other foods. Yes, I see Health Coach Kate do that a lot. You're an awesome mom for many reasons, but my mom saved me from it. Yeah, see, I was just stubborn. My mom was like, don't do this vegan thing. Not a good idea, but I'm stubborn. I'm so stubborn. So I was like, I'm doing it. But yeah, my daughter doesn't have a choice. Like, there's no veganism in this house. It's not going to happen. Can't do it. 'Cause she needs the nutrients. She needs the amino acids. Once you understand chemistry, you understand those amino acids, the L-tyrosine, all the stuff that the meat can give your brain for a sense of safety. I mean, you can't do it and feel okay, especially a kid like my daughter who has difficulty with her brain. I can't let her brain starve. That's essentially what happens. This vegan and vegetarian indoctrination of our kids needs to stop. I could not agree more. I think it's very harmful. I think it's very stupid. And by the way, my daughter used to wear 2 braids, and I got to sign off because I have a consult in 2 minutes with somebody. But my daughter used to wear the 2 braids, and all of a sudden she stopped wanting to wear the braids. Like every morning she had to have her hair French braided. It was like a big deal. Do you know why she stopped wanting to wear her hair in the French braids? It's because people started saying she looked like Greta. Because I asked her on the letter boards, I'm like, why can't mommy do your hair in braids anymore? And she's like, because I don't want to be compared to Greta, because, Greta has the braids and she has autism, and it's a different kind of autism than my daughter has. Let's just be honest about that. It's different. But she's like, I'm so sick of people comparing me to Greta. I don't want to have anything to do with her. I was like, yes, you're my kid. You're my daughter. I love you. Yeah. So, all right, guys, I have to hop off here, but thank you again for another awesome live. Yeah. So freaking hilarious. I had such a great time interacting with you guys. I'm going to try to keep doing these because my time is like just crazy, and filming has been hard to actually do a video and all that. So thank you guys. I hope this was helpful. Those of you watching the replay, thank you for watching, and try to catch me on the next live. Bye, guys. Have a really awesome rest of your day.